When Chef Mario Batali stepped away from his business empire this past winter after 9 women made accusations against him, it may have surprised his fans, but it did not come as a shock to many of the people who'd worked for him or served him at the Spotted Pig, a New York City restaurant he'd invested in and frequently visited. The Spotted Pig is owned by a friend of Batali's named Kenneth Redm. And its chef April Bloomfield. Over the last 6 months we've talked to dozens of people who work there or in Mario Batali's restaurants, and tonight some of them are speaking out. We want to warn you in sometimes graphic detail about what they experienced or witnessed in the work environment, where they say putting up with incidents of sexual harassment and sexual assault were required. If you wanted to keep your job, the Spotted Pig, a New York City restaurant Mario Batali frequently visited. CBS News Trish Nelson, he would ask to wrestle with me. Anderson Cooper, really a monster? Trish Nelson, I think Mario Batali's a monster. He's a monster. He would try to grab me. He has been lauded as this incredible chef and this leader, but behind the scenes he's hurtful and he does not respect women. Anderson Cooper, and you're saying this based on your personal experience? Yeah. Trish Nelson, yes. Trish Nelson was a waitress at the Spotted Pig who frequently served Mario Batali. Batali is one of the biggest stars in cooking. He owns 26 restaurants and has appeared on television for years as a gregarious and friendly master Italian chef. Anderson Cooper, why? Trish Nelson, because use it was a warning. Trish Nelson, we called him the Red Menace. You know, like, pull all of your bits in. Mario's in town. The Red Menace is here. Natalie Sable, he came to party and have a good tea. Me, and make passes at the female waitstaff and make inappropriate comments. Grab people. Anderson Cooper, it happened more than once. Jamie C, yeah. Natalie Sable, it happened a lot. And Anderson Cooper, that was common. Oh, yeah. Jamie C, yeah. Natalie Sable was a waitress, and Jamie C the manager at the Spotted Pig. Jamie C, he grabbed my breasts. Anderson Cooper, were you saying RVINGM? Jamie C, yeah. And he kind of reached around and C says she complained about Batali to one of the restaurant's co-owners Ken Friedman. Jamie C, and I said, Ken, Mario just grabbed and my boobs, and he's like, oh, don't worry about it, it's just Mario. And I'm like, okay. Mario Batali was an investor in the Spotted Pig and a close friend of Ken Friedman. Ken Friedman, who's clip. What I do for a living is basically I throw parties every night. Ken Friedman, co-owner of the Spotted Pig. When Friedman opened the New York restaurant 14 years ago, he wanted a place that catered to celebrities. Batali and other A-list stars would frequently hang out in a private party room on the 3rd floor. Anderson Cooper, what was the allure of the 3rd floor of the Spotted Pig for celebrity? Trish Nelson, you could smoke cigarettes, you could smoke pot, you could do drugs, you could have sex if you wanted to. I mean, there were no boundaries. Dozens of employees told us that lack of boundaries meant a workplace where Ken Friedman and Mario Batali did whatever they wanted. Many told us that emotional abuse and intimidation were common and there was no one to complain to. Anderson and Cooper, did you ever see Ken in a rage? Trish Nelson, on a daily basis. Anderson Cooper, what kind of things would he say? Trish Nelson, he would berate you, belittle you, make you feel like you were nothing. Erin Fine, who bartended at the Spotted Pig for 2 years, says Friedman's abuse wasn't just verbal. She says he sexually assaulted her in his car outside the restaurant in September of 2014. This is the first time she's spoken publicly about Erin Fine. He lunged forward, he grabbed my face, he started kissing me very sort of sloppily, he put his hands on me, he pulled up my shirt, and I felt frozen. Fine says she managed to get out of the car, and Friedman told her not to tell anyone what happened. Erin Fine, it was terrible and not what I wanted, but you know, he didn't ask. Hours later, Friedman sent Fine these 3 emails asking her for sexy pictures. I'll delete. And I was just really shocked by that. Erin Fine, send sexy pics tonight. I worried about what would happen if I didn't respond. Anderson Cooper, you worried if you didn't respond. What? That he might retaliate. Erin Fine, sigh. It was not a good option for me to not have this job, so I thought the best key move would be, don't respond and just let's pretend like this never happened. A spokesman for Ken Friedman says he vehemently denies any non-consensual activity and says Aaron Fine never issued a complaint and continues to want to work for him. Editor's note below in full is Ken Friedman's statement in response to 60 Minutes story, or click here. Editor's note: Aaron Fine, a former bartender at the Spotted Pig, spoke with 60 Minutes about her experience with Ken Friedman and why she says she continued to work for him in the video below, but Fine wasn't the only employee who ran requests for sexy pictures from the boss. These text messages were sent to Carla Elizabeth the same night she says Friedman tried to kiss her in 2010. Elizabeth was an executive in charge of acting wines for all Friedman's restaurants, but she says he was often demeaning to her, and I was leaning down to put something away. Carla Elizabeth's Ken came up and he said, "Oh, I understand why you need to wear push-up bras." And I had a low-cut dress on. "I see the stretch marks on your breasts." And I stood up. "It's amazing there's this much emotion connected to it still." And I was like, "Carla, don't punch a boss." I stood up and I was furious. "Don't punch your boss. Keep your job cause you love this job." Anderson Cooper: "Why do you think he said that to you?" Carla Elizabeth: "It's a pure use of power to manipulate somebody into not feeling like they have any power. It was that feeling of powerlessness they say that kept nearly all these women from speaking out until recently." Ken Friedman and chef April Bloomfield own 7 restaurants together and have employed hundreds of people over the past 14 years, but they didn't have a full-time human resources department until 2017. Anderson Cooper: "So there was no chain of command to go to?" Carla Elizabeth: "No, and I didn't go to April because I didn't trust her with this either." Anderson Cooper: "Did you feel, as a female co-owner of the company, that April Bloomfield had your back?" Carla Elizabeth: "No, I know other people went to April, and she did nothing to make them feel safe." Carla Elizabeth was an executive in charge of selecting wines for all Ken Friedman's restaurants. She says Friedman was often demeaning to her. CBS News: "Other staff say Bloomfield may not have known the extent of the harassment. He declined our request for an interview, but in a statement says, I am in the final stages of severing my partnership with Ken Friedman. I deeply regret not doing more to protect my staff who relied on me." Many of the women we spoke with say they feared being fired if they complained to Ken Friedman, and say he would sometimes blackball former employees. Manager Jamie C. says Friedman was so cried when she was leaving his company that he contacted the restaurant where she had just been hired. Jamie C., the director of operations of that restaurant, called me and he said, "I'm so sorry. We're rescinding your job offer." And I said, "Does this have anything to do with Ken Friedman?" And he was like, "Yes." Trish Nelson finally quit in October of 2012, the day after she says Ken Friedman and sexually assaulted her in his car. Trish Nelson: "We got into the car and he lunged to kiss me. He's a 6'4" man, and so you're pretty overpowered, and I just felt panic. I felt panic because I never thought that was going to happen to me. I thought that I was respected." Ken Friedman and Mario Batali also declined our request for interviews. In a statement, Friedman says, "In part over the past 7 months I have focused on my own personal decisions and my mistakes, for which I have apologized." Mario Batali says in a statement, "My past behavior has been deeply inappropriate and I am sincere. I'm remorseful for my actions." In December he was removed from his television show, Woman. "I had thought about it a lot and is leaving the company he founded." But earlier this year, another woman came forward to us with an incident she says occurred all the way back in 2005. She asked us to conceal her identity because she says she was concerned about future job prospects. Woman who wants to be defined by the worst day of their life. She was working in Batali's restaurant Babel when she says he invited her to the Spotted Pig for a party. She says she remembers sitting with Batali alone at a small table on the second floor drinking white wine. And this is part of the messy, scary part for me. There is a part where it all disappears. Woman: "It gets completely foggy for me. I her a moment where I was on his lap kissing him, and then I remember throwing up in a toilet, like, he was kissing me, and that is all. She says she woke up around dawn in a room on the 3rd floor of the building. Woman, I woke up by myself on the floor. I don't know where I am. Of an empty room, wooden floor. I see broken bottles. The first thing I think is, I've been drugged. That was the first thing I thought is, I've been assaulted. Woman, my right leg was very deeply wounded. Like, scratched. Like, deep scratches. I didn't feel any kind of trauma. Woman, I didn't think I had been raped. Anderson Cooper, internally, you didn't feel. Woman, I didn't feel any trauma internally, but I also did find. I looked on my skirt, there were 2 areas. Woman, semen. Anderson Cooper, semen. It looked like DNA. Mario Batali, she says she had to go into work, and hours later was back at Batali's restaurant Babel when he called in. Woman, I said, what happened? Anderson Cooper, you asked him that. Woman, yeah, I asked him, what happened last night? And he just was silent, wouldn't talk to me. After her shift, she says she called the crisis hotline and went to a hospital for an examination. 4 people confirmed to us that she told them what happened at the time, one of whom accompanied her to the hospital. She says she also went to speak with a detective at the New York Police Department's Special Victims Division. Woman, they tried getting me to file a report. They tried, but a young actress, no resources, no money. I couldn't do it. I couldn't, because she declined to file a police report. The rape kit taken at the hospital was never processed, and hospital records had been expunged. She still has few answers as to how he ended up blacked out and alone on the 3rd floor of the Spotted Pig. Anderson Cooper, you believe he broke the law with you? Woman, yes, and that's why I called the crisis hotline, because I knew something very wrong happened to me. Mario Batali issued a statement that says, I vehemently deny the allegation that I sexually assaulted this woman. Editor's note below in full is Mario Batali's statement in response to 60 Minutes story, or click here. But 3 years later, there was another incident in that 3rd floor party room. Manager Jamie Seat told us what she saw, and 3 other employees who were also there confirmed her account. Jamie Seat, we were in the 3rd floor of the restaurant, and there are cameras, and it dwindled down to 2 people, Mario and then this woman, and there had been a party. Seat says she was counting the evening's receipts in the office and watched on a video monitor as Mario Batali began to reach his hand up between the legs of the woman. Jamie Seat, she looked like this, so that to me looks like someone is unconscious. Anderson Cooper, and you saw him pull up his chair and start to touch her? Jamie Seat, Anderson Cooper, sexually? Jamie Seat, yes. Anderson Cooper, when you saw that on the monitor, what did you think? Jamie Seat, he crossed a line, a huge line, as of to doing assaulting someone that's unconscious. Jamie Seat, so we all went out there and we stopped what was going on. Hey Mario, how are you doing? Let's get you a cab. Just, we were something just to snap him out of this. Seat and others say a number of employees later watched the video of what happened and say Ken Friedman was told about it as well. Anderson Cooper, you have no doubt you saw Mario Batali. Jamie Seat, no doubt. Absolutely. Anderson Cooper, sexually assaulting an unconscious or semi-conscious woman. Jamie Seat, yeah, no doubt at all. And to this day I feel ashamed that I never called the police. We spoke to the attorney for the woman, who at the time was an up-and-coming chef. She declined our request for an interview. Trish Nelson and all women we spoke to say they are speaking out about the Spotted Pig because what happened to them is all too common, they say, in the restaurant industry. Trish Nelson, doing this over 20 years, there is one place that I haven't had this kind of an experience. Anderson Cooper, there's not one restaurant you've worked in that you haven't had some sort of harassment. Trish Nelson, exactly. It's as if throughout the entire industry. Anderson Cooper, you would like what happened to you and others to have an impact around the country. Trish Nelson, yes, I would love for women to be able to feel like they finally have a voice. They can say no and not lose their jobs. The New York Police Department confirms to 60 Minutes that there is an ongoing criminal investigation into Mario Batali. Produced by Michael Ray and Oriana Zilda Granados. Associate producer Lucy Boyd.